So, a lot of people have been asking me what's going on and kind of, I guess, seeking some comfort or some guidance while we're dealing with all of the craziness that's happening in the cosmos and just the natural transitions and progressions and the endings of cycles that we're experiencing on Earth right now. So, I wanted to kind of give you guys just a little bit of a synthesis of some of the more important things that are happening. Definitely consult an astrologer for anything major because astrology is so detailed, and I know my own, but I don't do astrology professionally. So here we go. So right now, Pluto is in Aquarius. Pluto entered Aquarius in 2024. It's going to be in Aquarius until 2044. And the theme of Pluto in Aquarius is radical societal change. And so the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius was during the American Revolution and the French Revolution. So we're experiencing the same kind of cosmic support for revolution that they experienced then. And that is obvious from what we're experiencing in the world. So the implications of this, technology is reshaping our power structures, collapse of systems that are no longer relevant, emphasis on community. And so this one is really important. What you're going to start to notice is that like-minded people are going to gravitate towards each other, and authentically like-minded people. If your vibration doesn't naturally align with someone, you're probably not going to be around them right now. And so communities are going to form around people who are aligned vibrationally. And that's all I've got for Pluto and Aquarius. Additionally, Saturn is in Pisces, and the theme of Saturn in Pisces is spiritual discipline. And so the implications of this are a sense of authenticity with regard to spiritual practice. And this is going to start to override the spiritual bypassing that's been popular lately, like going on retreats and things like that, that don't have actual substance, that are kind of like band-aids to make you feel better, but that do not really push you forward in your authentic spiritual work. So these things are going to start to dissipate, and people, those of us who are authentically doing the work are going to rise to the top right now. And those of us who are not doing that, who are bypassing the work, they're going to be exposed. And additionally, this vibe is causing a lot of healers, myself included, to establish really strong boundaries. Next, Uranus is in Gemini, and the theme of that is mental reconfiguration. Another way to look at it is ego death. And I have definitely been experiencing this lately. And so, like, weird things will happen where somebody will like ask me if I want to eat something, and I look at them like it's crazy. Like, I don't eat that. And they would be like, last time we were together, you did. And I'm like, oh yeah, like it takes you like a second to realize like you are an entirely different person. Everything about the way that you experience Earth is different. So memories are lapsed, but most importantly, it's a mental configuration. Like the way that you see the world, the way that you move through the world is different. Additionally, this implicates shifts in our education system, which we're seeing. My most recent job that I no longer have was in the ed tech space, and it was basically like just creating all of these AI platforms that do the jobs of teachers actually better than most teachers that I've worked with over my 10 years. Rewiring of the nervous system. So this has been really amplified for me lately, and I wonder if any others of you are experiencing this. But what I realize is, like, I did a lot of work and a lot of things are different, but there's still, like, if I return to certain situations or certain people, I can still feel like, I'm going to say triggered for lack of a better word. And I realized that, like, I did a lot of the mental work and I did a lot of the spiritual work, but I did not intentionally attend to reconfiguring my nervous system to align with my new timeline. So a lot of you may be feeling the need to do some of this type of work as well. Okay, next we're in eclipse season. So eclipse season is a 4 to 6 week period, and we're about a week or so in. And the theme of this eclipse season is accelerated karma to cause evolution. And so you will be receiving karmic consequences for choices that you've made. You may be experiencing karmic relationships or fated relationships. Different kinds of things like that are happening. Something weird was happening with me financially, and it took me probably like a week of sitting in it to realize that it was a karmic circumstance, and that once I was able to realize that that was what was going on, integrating the shadow, forgiving myself, then I was able to move forward and everything starts to fall into place. Let's see. So, implications of this accelerated karma. Endings of relationships or situations that are not aligned with your purpose on this earth. Revelations, things becoming clear, or people being exposed, things like that. Pivots. You may have been living your life one way for many, many years, thought that that was going to be it for you, and then your life changes course. So lots of pivots are happening. Course corrections. So that means you may have been really committed to something and you realize that this does not fit, no matter the amount of effort you put into it. It's time to switch course. Institutional changes. Scandals that cause people who are in power to fall from their positions of power. Structural weaknesses being revealed. So, like, I know we just all experienced, well, the East Coast, the snowstorm, and that showed that some real third world type situations happening in this alleged great country that we live in. Collective blind spots being exposed. So that's a theme. It's been happening a lot. I guess this Epstein situation for some of you guys is a blind spot being exposed. You didn't know that the people who were in charge were doing all this diabolical stuff, but yes, it was happening and still gonna happen, and nothing is gonna be done about it. But at least now you know, so you have power to make some choices. Unfortunately, most people are too brainwashed to make said choices, but you know. So now whatever happens now is on you. Heightened emotional sensitivity and accelerated timelines. Those are the implications of this eclipse season. So Pluto in Aquarius and Saturn being in Pisces amplify the effects of the eclipse season. And so systemic failures are being exposed left and right. Spiritual integrity. Those of us who have not been living in spiritual integrity are feeling the effects of that. And then you're feeling the effects personally, but it's going to start to affect the way that people move in the world. Karmic consequences are showing up, and truth through media. And I think the Epstein revelation is a perfect example of truth through media. So some advice that I would give for navigating this season would be to avoid making life-altering decisions. Notice what's ending without your effort. What is just fading out of your life without effort. Prioritize nervous system regulation. I've been doing Vipassana meditations, which I actually wasn't able to do for like my first, I've been meditating for a lot of years now, but within the last 5 years, it's been, I've been doing meditation outside of my Buddhist practice. I'm not Buddhist anymore, but I was for a while. And yeah, Vipassana has been really helping with the nervous system reset and regulation. sunlight exposure. I know it's cold, but in order to make sure your circadian rhythms are in check, you need to make sure you're getting outside and pausing before you respond or react. Realizing that there are a lot of factors at play right now. And so you can't respond to things the way that you normally do. And usually there's information that you just don't have that is influencing the things that are happening to you. So pause, figure out what you need to figure out before you make these decisions. Mercury is retrograde in Pisces. That is from today through March 20th. And then remember, we've been living in the shadow, I think they call it. I can't remember if the shadow is before or after, but 2 weeks before a funky, 2 weeks after a funky. So Mercury retrograde. Number one, someone recently told me that they talked to an astronomer and they told them that Mercury retrograde was bullshit, which in astronomy, I can understand why somebody would say that because it is an optical illusion. It's not something that's actually, the planet isn't moving backwards. It appears to be moving backwards. So Mercury is responsible for communication, for travel and transportation, for technology, for information, and for agreements. And the themes of Mercury retrograde in Pisces are heightened intuition, unresolved situations, revisiting the past. Revelations are an ongoing theme, and idealization. So that's like having really high hopes for situations and then kind of learning through your intuition or through some information that becomes revealed that whatever you were placing on a pedestal isn't what you thought it was. So those are the cosmic things that are happening, and those are the implications of them. Of course, if you need more information, a tarot pull can support you, an astrologer can support you, whatever type of guide you use can also help bring clarity and ease this process for you. So now I'm going to get into the tarot. I'll start with Pisces, which I think is just because we're in Pisces season and I'm an Aries. My sister is a Pisces. So because her birthday comes first, in my head, Pisces is always first, even though I know Aries is first. So Pisces, you guys. Thought I pulled the cards for you guys, but might just have to read the readings and not show you the cards. Oh, nope, there it is. It's just out of order. Okay, Pisces, you guys have Judgment in reverse. And so Judgment in reverse speaks to harsh self-criticisms that can cause missed opportunities, like imposter syndrome, if you will, like just really criticizing yourself out of doing something. Energetic paralysis. And so I think this is kind of connected, but just a sense of not being able to move forward because of your insecurity. Reflection. So you're reflecting not to criticize, but rather to glean the lessons from the situations that you're in. So reflect on what you've been doing, reflect on what's been happening to you. Take those lessons and use those lessons to propel you forward. Aries has 7 of Pentacles, which, here we go, 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And this is money is missing. I'm an Aries, and I will say spot on. My money was missing. I found it, but it was missing. Not getting what you expected. So you could have like put a lot of effort into a situation and thought you were going to get a lot of reward for it, and that not happen. Whether it's a job, a project, a relationship. So the reason why these are happening is to show you where you need to stop investing your energy. This could apply to your relationships, or it could be applying to something professional. For myself, I'll give you a perfect example. I recently accepted a job in addition to my tarot work. As with most jobs, it was supposed to be part-time, low lift, but because I have been in yoga teacher training and my job is in a yoga studio, I've just become really invested in my yoga and my yogic work. But what is supposed to pay my bills is not yoga. What's supposed to pay my bills is tarot. And so this situation happened with my money missing because I wasn't doing the work that I was supposed to be doing. So the situation happened to show me where I have over invested my energy. I've been over investing my energy in yoga and under investing in my tarot practice. All right, next we've got Taurus, and Taurus is Page of Cups. All right, now I think we're in order. Page of Cups. So this is about intuitively inspired ideas. So any ideas that you have that seem to come from your intuition, they should be embraced, especially if it's something creative. And so embrace them, but also be prepared to put in the effort to bring them to fruition. So you're checking in with your intuition. What are you inspired to act on right now? And then kind of coming up with a plan and applying energy to bring that plan to fruition. Next for Gemini, we've got the King of Wands. Yes, okay. King of Wands. Similar to the Taurus reading, you guys are using your energy. You're not relying on your intuition. You're using your physical 3D energy to bring an idea to fruition. Your idea is going to be successful because of your natural leadership abilities. And you guys kind of Geminis, and I think this tracks with the Geminis in my life. I have two who are very, very close to me. You guys get off on solving other people's problems. So like you guys are really creative ideas, and you can use your creative ideas to help other people solve their problems. You also can use your physical strength and your physical energy to help people solve their problems. So we're speaking to that spirit. The other thing that Geminis have is discipline. So all of those things are associated with the King of Wands. The discipline that's required to actually bring ideas to fruition, whether it's like, Geminis are miraculous when it comes to that shit. All right, Cancer, you guys have the Nine of Swords, which this is not a good card. It's there are only like really two cards that I look at and I'm like, ugh. Nine of Swords of one of them. So Nine of Swords speaks to anxiety, and it's anxiety that's inspired by fear. And your fear as Cancers, and this definitely applies to the Cancers in my life, like your fear can be all consuming, and you're worrying. You guys worry a lot, and that worrying is praying for what you don't want. So it's kind of reinforcing your anxiety. And there is some unresolved trauma that is causing you to worry. And you guys have to find a way to release yourselves from this anxiety. And what I would recommend, number one, always a therapist. Like every Cancer I know desperately needs a therapist. But number two, in tandem with therapy, I feel like journaling would be productive for you guys. I've been using this method called Journal Speak. It's similar to the morning pages in the writer's way. I just do it a little bit differently than the Writer's Way. But anyway, it's kind of evolved from the Writer's Way. And what I do is I free write. And so it's like if something is spinning in my head, the kind of things that I used to take medicine to get rid of, I don't take any kind of medicines anymore. And so now I had to figure out a new solution to like stop the spinning. And so what I'll do is I'll write, and I'll just write about it until I've finished writing. It's just free writing. Doesn't matter how you do it. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter what it says. You're just free writing until you realize your brain is empty. When your brain is empty, you can go on with your day, and you've left your worries on the page. And it's been really helpful for me. So maybe give that a shot. Leos have the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands, it's upright, not reverse. It speaks to having a sense of hope. And so it's kind of like hope that betrays your reality. And so it's like, yeah, shit sucks, but I'm determined to get through this and to make whatever I believe is going to happen, or whatever it is that I want to happen. And so this is about facing obstacles with courage. This is about, in spite of what you see, you're persevering and being determined and having hope in spite of what you're experiencing. It could also speak to a betrayal that is causing you to it's a kind of betrayal that would seem like the smart thing to do in this sense is to not fuck with people, but you guys have a hopeful outlook right now, so you're like, oh, maybe that was just a bad apple. I don't have to throw away the whole bunch. And so someone is coming into your life that is going to redeem your faith. So you're a little bit beat up right now. You've been through a lot, but your determination and your hope is going to carry you through. And someone is coming into your experience that is going to redeem your faith in humanity or in the world in general. Next we have Virgo. Virgos have the King of Pentacles. Surprise, surprise. But the King of Pentacles is reversed. And in reverse, it's speaking to being overly concerned with wealth accumulation. Being greedy. And missing out on the bigger picture. It isn't all about money. It's not about saving money. It's not about being rich. There are more important things in the world, you Virgos. And it's time for you guys to get a handle on yourselves. So stop being overly concerned with the accumulation of wealth. Of course, you have to be somewhat concerned about it, or else the rest of us couldn't keep on calling you guys for loans. That's what you guys are here for. But there is a bigger picture. So it's not about money at the expense of everything else. Libra, Temperance, shocker. You all are the calm in the storm. And so, but the calm that you have isn't just like arbitrary calm. It's not like that's your default setting. You're calm because you've been through a lot. You studied a lot. You've prepared a lot. You know, you've got a handle on it. So you can be calm because you are an expert. And again, your expertise was achieved through effort. It wasn't just a random situation. So if you're feeling an imbalance right now, you're being called to reevaluate your priorities, so that you can see where you're misplacing energy. Scorpios, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Finally, because the cards have not really been favorable for you guys lately. The Knight of Pentacles speaks to, and if you see him, you see he's carrying his pentacles so carefully. Responsibility. And so you're exploring patience. Well, you're not exploring. You are, you're imploring. So you're using patience. You're using discipline, you're using consistency, commitment to stay the course. So, are you getting a new job? Are you starting a new relationship? Are you becoming a parent? Something is coming into your life that is requiring you to be responsible and to use all of these virtues that you already possess to stay the course and get to the end of the road. Next, we have Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is the Five of Pentacles, another very scary card, but thankfully it's in reverse. So we've got the Five of Pentacles, which normally would be like disaster, financial loss, homeless, starving, horrible shit. But because it's in reverse, you're actually on the come up. Your situation is changing for the better. You're improving. You are in recovery. But don't expect an instantaneous recovery. It's change that is going to happen over time. Capricorn, you guys have the Three of Cups in reverse. So here's your Three of Cups, which is normally party time, but you guys have it in reverse. So our Capricorns are too consumed with something, and it's causing them to miss out on fun. There's no joy in your life. You're overly consumed with something other than joy, love, socializing. So you're experiencing a sense of disconnection from your social circle. And this could be because of an imbalance within your social circle. Like something shady happened that caused you to want to isolate yourself. And lastly, Aquarius, we have the Page of Wands. And as you can see, he's looking at his wand very optimistically. The Aquarians, you guys have a lot of ideas, but you're not finishing them. You've got a lot of incomplete projects. And so what you're being asked to do right now is to use your energy to kind of edit all these projects. Take a look at all the things you're working on. Look at your progress and remove the things that are misaligned. If it's something that you're not progressing in because you don't have, there's no energy or momentum behind it, let it go. You don't have to finish everything you started. It's just, sometimes you just got to move on. And that is the tarot for this tumultuous time of the year. I hope that you guys find this helpful.